I gotta admit, this is the unboxing that I was most intimidated by. Mostly because so many of you, I know once I open this box, are simply not going to let it just chill out back there. If you were at the very first convention I ever threw last weekend in Indianapolis, there were 3 or 4 of you that played Warhammer 40K and were all telling me to get off my rear end and get something done. So I figured, why not take this week's episode of TLDR and give us the best 10-minute overview I can of the Warhammer Dark Imperium Ultimate Warhammer 40K box set. Now, inside this box is an absolute bevy of things, but to give you a very brief overview of Warhammer, it's been around since the early 80s. It's really a fantasy-themed war game originally called simply Warhammer. And it provided a huge amount of success for them. According to their Wikipedia, Rick Priestley, he wanted to develop a science fiction version of Warhammer. And since before joining Games Workshop, Priestley had been privately working on a science fiction tabletop game called Rogue Trader, which a lot of you Warhammer veterans will know about. Now, again, take it easy on me, Warhammer community. I definitely want to get into this game, but the lore and all the armies are a bit overwhelming. But essentially, it's kind of your standard tabletop miniature war game. It's set in a science fantasy world, and look at all this stuff. There are expansions that are released periodically, and sometimes you have rules and unbans, things like that. But what this game offers, what this hobby offers, is a lot more than just the game. It offers artists a chance to art. So inside this box, you have the 280-page Warhammer 40K book, 24-page Primaris Space Marine booklet, the 24-page Death Guard booklet. Now that's who's in here, the Death Guard and the Space Marines. Your floppy range ruler, 12 dice. Then you have a total of 53 Citadel miniatures. And this is the same for every box. This isn't like Magic where there's certain things that aren't included. That are random. So you have 1 captain, 2 lieutenants, 1 ancient, 10 intercessors, 3 interceptors, and 5 hellblasters in the Primaris Space Marines. Then the Death Guard, which I really like the look of. You have a Lord of Contagion, a Noxious Blightbringer, a Malignant Plague Caster, 7 Plague Marines, 1 Foetid Bloat Drone, and 20 Poxwalkers. This box was about $130. I purchased it for, and I was bouncing around between this and the larger, like $200 item. The $200 version of this simply includes the Citadel paints, which I'm told by Warhammer veterans are simply too expensive to bother with. And since I'm a pleb, maybe I'll buy a junk set. But for the unsleeved media set, I'm going to commission someone to paint them. Oh, I know, it's lame. But I just want them to look cool. I mean, they're going to go on my set, right? Hopefully, I'll get to play with them. Now, I'm going to play Warhammer on Tabletop Simulator with Arch this weekend, so he can help me understand, the armies a little bit better. But I'm kind of feeling, give it to GU Games Workshop here. They made you feel like spending the $136 this was worth it. So we have our Warhammer 40K book. We have our guide on the Primaris Space Marines. So you have all the information that you need. This is mostly lore in here, actually, in this book. So the lore is a huge part of the game. We must have the Space Marines, and we must have the plague. Let's open this. And I'm going to grab some pictures to help you visualize these things coming to life a little bit, because they come unpainted. Yep. Okay, so here we have our Death Guard guide. And in here you'll find all sorts of information about all your characters. You can get, you know, as full or as superficial as you want. So you can look at, say, for example, we want to talk about, and this is what I think is going to suck me into the Warhammer community. So the Plague Marines. No traitor allegiance stands as high in Nurgle's favor as the Death Guard, swollen with the Plague God's blessings and utterly devoted to the corruption of real space in his name. The hulking Plague Marines that comprise their mainstay Despel all in their path while chanting praise to their gruesome patron. You know, I have a Patreon account too. And so you have your Dark Imperium and your Space Marines, so you have kind of a good idea of everything that's included in here. And then this is your assembly guide. It's a whole thing. It's a whole process. But they do tell you, if you choose to use the Citadel paints, you know, it tells you the colors that you need if you want to follow their painting scheme. Which I, of course, will not. I'm going to commission somebody, hopefully will make them unsleeved media. I like this white color scheme, though. That's pretty cool. The whites here show squad and company with jagged tribal markings displayed on their knee pads and greaves. And then you have your transfer sheet as well inside here. And then you've got your bases, your die, stand stuff, more stand stuff, and your high quality distance measuring stick. Now you're probably asking yourself, where are all the figures? Where are my testicles? Where are they? I'm actually going to take this lore book upstairs with me and read it. This is where a lot of people say that, you know, this is an expensive hobby, but it kind of depends where you're coming from. I mean, $130 for 2 armies. I mean, I guess call it $250 all in with paint and everything. That's pretty reasonable in terms of the price of, like, I'm coming from Magic the Gathering, you know? Oh, the seal of approval, the high quality stamp of approval. Oh, that's annoying. Oh, that's even more annoying. All right, whatever. And that's it. Ready? Oh, ho, ho, ho. That's what you get. A big box of gray sadness. Until these things get brought to life. If you look at some of these deformed characters, though, like, let's actually, hold on. Let's put something here. They do have a ton of detail already built in, right? Except for the ones that you have to assemble. You've got arms, you've got their weapons on here. You got this guy with horns coming out. He's got no face, apparently. Yeah, or maybe he's just missing his head. These are cool. And that's one aspect of this game that, you know, of wargaming that is kind of unique. There's probably a lot of people like me that may just want to collect them in really cool form, like in really interesting painted form, and occasionally play with them. Now, I'm going to give it the old college try on Tabletop Simulator this weekend, and the search for who is going to be the official commissioner of Unsaved Media. If you want If you want to throw your hat in the ring, I will pay you for your time. Of course, I don't want anything for free. I'm not one of those scumbags that's like, give it to me for free so I can advertise for you. No, I'll pay you. I just want him to look badass. You can email me or tweet me. This is going to be a huge undertaking, but I'm really excited. So I'm already falling in love with the Warhammer lore in that I'm actually playing Warhammer Fantasy. It's a little different than 40K, obviously, but I'm playing Warhammer Fantasy on Sundays. Now I'll be in the 40K universe, and I look forward to chatting with all of you about your armies and everything in the comment section down below. Let's get it done. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you want to be notified the next time I upload a video, make sure you subscribe and click that damn bell so you actually get notified. If you want to support the cause of this channel, it survives based on the amazingly gracious support of my patrons. Link is in the description if you'd like to help out.